In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Jared McCain and his future potential, and will he be able to make the NBA? Let's get down, let's check him out. Okay, so in this first clip, he's getting that ball swung to him, he's basically driving baseline, he's drawing a double team, and then he's able to kick it out for an open three-point shot. One thing that a lot of young players do these days is they always try to score. They never look to get that pass. Here, he's actually legitimately looking to make that pass so that he can get his teammates open shots. Now, he had a missed shot here. However, when you're driving baseline, this is what you need to do. You need to keep your head up, looking at the court, scanning the court, because when you are behind the backboard, you have basically multiple players who are not looking at the play itself, which will then allow you to find open players because you would have collapsed the defense. And then after that missed shot, Jared McCain was able to stay in position to get that offensive rebound so that he can then finish the play himself. That is a very good teammate and a very good player. On defense, he's also a very good player. He tries to fight through screens when he can, and then he stays low enough to be able to lock down players. Now, of course, he forced a pass, and that player did score. However, it's nice to see players try to fight around screens. He could have easily denied this and allowed that player to cut back, but he was able to get close to that player, tried to get his hips on the hips of that ball handler, and because of that, he was able to fight through that screen, which then forced that player to then, of course, cut back around and make that pass to the corner. Even in the fast break, look at his face. Look at him looking at the court trying to find his teammates. He gets that collapse and then he's able to dish it off to a dunk. This is something that a lot of players do not do, is the fact that they're always looking to make that pass, and he has the court vision and the teammates making those cuts to be able to make those plays. And it's nice to see that he isn't a pass-first player either. He's willing to pull up for threes in the transition. He also has a very nice set shot where he has his elbow and shoulder in line and half the ball over top of his shoulder or upper arm, which then allows for that shooting triangle that I always talk about, and he has a nice soft release, no thumb flick, and has a high release where his elbow is above his forehead. That's going to be really good for him. Now, one thing that he may have issues with is how low he gets. It's almost like if he's sitting in a chair. Now, that may be how the old school coaches may coach. However, that could slow down your shot just enough to get blocked. However, he still has a very, very good shot. Now, coming down the court, almost like in a transition, what we see is his ability to keep that ball safe, but also his head up to be able to pass to players. Still moving off ball after he makes that pass. Now, he was trying to set a screen there. His player didn't exactly use it. However, after that pass, he's still moving. He didn't just stay in the middle of the key and clog up space. He moved. He looked like he was about to try and set that screen. However, he used a brush screen on this player so that now this player was really only going one-on-one, and this was actually a very, very good play, and his teammates very good at being able to finish around the rim. Now, something he does here is very, very good and very, very high level, and that is the change of heights on his dribble, his ability to use screens, but also his ability to use fakes to get that ball swung back around. So when he's dribbling towards that right side, what he's doing is he's scanning the court. He notices that a screen is going to be popping up and he needs to get to that screen. Well, you always want to try and lead your player away from the screen first, and then you want to cut back. And that's what he does here. However, when he cuts back, look at him drop his shoulders. This is extremely, extremely important. And the reason why this is important is because when he drops his shoulders, he now gets his shoulders below the defender's shoulders, which means that he can get that 45-degree angle on the court so that he can have the ability, or at least the upper hand, on driving towards the basket. He then, of course, uses that screen. I would have liked to see him use maybe a little bit more of body control on that defender, trying to really push that defender into the screen and don't let him hedge over top. However, that's not what happened. He needs to really focus on making that defender pay and really bodying him into that screen. It would have opened him up for a couple of extra options. However, he was still able to kick that ball back for the pin down so that, of course, he's able to get his teammate an open three. Now here he's able to get that screener right perfect so that now his defender is hung up on that screen. He then basically puts his defender in jail behind him. He gets his right shoulder in front of the left shoulder of his defender. That defender is in jail. Now there's the hedge man who needs to try and defend Jared McCain, and what he does here is, again, very good. He uses his off arm to keep that defender at bay, goes the opposite direction away from the defenders, right down the middle of the lane, and he's able to then go off 2 feet, 2 hands above his head. Just think, if he kept the ball down here, this little guy over here, he would have stripped him, and you don't want that to happen, and he's getting his body into the hedge man so that he can finish with his inside hand on that shot. This is why you need to be able to finish with your right hand on the left side and your left hand on the left side. You need to be able to use both hands, and this is why you can get your body between the ball and the defender so that you can get yourself an easy shot. Now, this is technically not an easy shot. However, he makes it easy because he gets his body in the way as a secondary defender so that he can get that ball up. This is extremely important if you are looking to be able to score on bigger players. Having ridiculous range too is very important. Let me explain. So as we can see here, he's playing extremely deep away from the three-point line. And back in my day, this was considered a bad shot at the high school level. The reason is because it's a lower percentage shot. However, in reality, if you have the strength to be able to shoot from here, you should be able to work on your shot to shoot from there. And there is a bigger reason why. If you are playing against a zone and you have a player who drives, by playing a bit higher and wider on the 5-out or a 4-out or whatever your team is running, by playing farther out away from the 3, you are now needing to stretch that defense outside of the 3-point line, which opens up angles and lanes for your other teammates to drive. But if you can hit that shot, you're going to be open pretty much all day. See, in a zone, you want to stay inside the 3-point line. That's the weakness. As soon as a zone gets outside of the 3-point line, it's opening up a lot of opportunities for drives down the lanes, and by stretching that zone, you're going to be opening up options to pass to. However, again, if you can hit those shots, you might as well. I hope that this video has helped you be able to score on bigger defenders, know what to look for when you are driving towards the rim, and why you want to drive baseline. And then also, you now know that by stretching the zone, you have easier opportunities for yourself and your teammates to score. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.